Multiple choice. I love multiple choice. Yeah? Sometimes you actually hate what you love. क्यों यासीन? No? 8 साल बाद, huh? Question number 21. Why did Leo choose instant coffee as the topic for his marketing presentation? Sanu ki pata. Right? You understand the question? Why did Leo choose instant coffee as the topic for his marketing presentation? Now you can see there are 3 options. And options have repeated words. The words that are repeated, don't pay attention to those words. For example, he found plenty of material on the topic. Underline plenty of material on topic. Plenty of material for loads of information. Plenty of material, loads of information. Tons of information. Option B, he had some practical experience in the area. Just underline practical experience in area. Means he had worked in coffee shop or something like that. Option C, he had an idea of a brand he wanted to target. So, idea of brand wanted to target. Or idea of target brand. Idea of target brand. Now let's see why did Leo choose instant coffee. 3 options. They will speak about all 3 options in any order. 2 options are wrong. 1 is the correct one. Let's start.
You will hear a first-year marketing student called Leo talking to a second-year student called Anna about his marketing report.
Anna, I wanted to ask you about my marketing report. I'm not sure about it.
That's okay, Leo. So what do you have to do?
Choose a product or service, then compare 2 organisations that produce it. I'm doing instant coffee.
But haven't you got a weekend job in a clothing store? Why didn't you choose clothing?
That was my first thought, because I thought it'd give me some practical examples. But when I searched for men's clothing on the internet, there were hardly any articles. So then I looked for coffee, and I found there were tons.
Yeah, there are so many brands on the market now.
Absolutely A. First they talked about practical experience, but he worked in a clothes shop, right? And he didn't find information. And then he discussed about this coffee and he find tons of material. So tons of material is plenty of material on the topic. A is the right answer. And by the way, they did not discuss C. Now, let's go on. Question number 22. Leo discovered that in Australia, recent technological developments. Now, this multiple choice is incomplete statement, and then there are 3 possible options. So, recent technological developments are producing less healthy types of instant coffee. Underline producing less healthy type. And instant coffee is understood. The whole thing is about coffee. Producing less healthy type. Option B, reducing the demand. Now, instant coffee is understood. So, option A, producing less healthy. Option B, reducing the demand. And option C, improving the quality. Understand? From the long option, we are only going to focus these things. Now, let's see.
Okay, so how much have you actually written?
I've done part 1 on economic and technological factors. I found some good data on technological changes, how in Australia, fewer people are buying instant coffee because of cheap coffee percolators that they can use to make real coffee at home.
But there's also a movement away from drinking coffee.
Switching to things like herbal teas instead because they think it's healthier. But that's not really to do with technology. It's more cultural.
A. All right. Anyone else? No? Listen to it again. It is actually B. Listen to it again.
Okay, so how much have you actually written?
I've done part 1 on economic and technological factors. I found some good data on technological changes, how in Australia, fewer people are buying instant coffee.
Fewer people are buying instant coffee, reducing the demand for instant coffee, option B. and that is related to technological developments. Fewer people are buying instant coffee. That is reducing the demand. Fewer people are buying means it is reducing the demand. So B is the right answer. Listen on.
Because of cheap coffee percolators that they can use to make real coffee at home.
They can use to make real coffee at home. Option C, improving the quality. No, there are some coffee percolators which they can use to make real coffee at home. Coffee percolators are like coffee machines. Okay. Now, they are going to talk about option A.
Away from drinking coffee.
Switching to things like herbal teas instead, because they think it's healthier. But that's not really to do with technology.
That's not really to do with technology. So, it is not the option. Now come to 23. What do the speakers agree about Leo's table of coffee products? Now, Leo has made a table of coffee products. This table is not like this table. It's a table. Like in Ielts listening part 1, part 2, we did a table, right? So, it's a table like that. Now, what do the speakers agree? There are 3 points. On 2 points, they will disagree. That will not be your answer. And if they agree, they will say, you have a point. I agree with you. Yes, you are right. Absolutely, you are right, like that. So what do the speakers agree about Leo's table of coffee product? It needs more explanation. Underline needs more explanation. Option B, it is factually inaccurate. Underline factually inaccurate. Wrong facts, wrong figures. And option C, it would be best to put this in the appendix. Best to put in appendix. Appendix is a part of a report where you give detailed information, detailed data. So, what do the speakers agree to do it? A, more explanation. B, factually inaccurate. And C, they will put it in appendix.
Anyway, for part 2, I'm comparing 2 instant coffee companies, Coffee Now and Shaffer's. And I've made this table of products.
Right. Let's see. So you've got the brand names and prices and selling size and descriptions. Okay, the table looks good. You'll get marks for research there. Where will it go?
In the section on the marketing mix, under product.
Not in the appendix?
No.
Okay, but it's too factual on its own. You need to add some comment in that section about the implications of the figures.
Right. I'll do that.
You need to add some comments. Option? No. Good, I caught the thieves. Option A. Alright. Okay, I'll play it again. Don't worry. I'll tell you why B is wrong. They talked about factual things, but they didn't say they are wrong. Okay? So, let's start again. Option A is the right answer. It needs more explanation in the text, means add some comments. Let's see. आज रोज़ा लग रहा है ना? शक्लों से नज़र आ रहा है.
Anyway, for part 2, I'm comparing 2 instant coffee companies, Coffee Now and Shaffer's. And I've made this table of products.
Right. Let's see. So you've got the brand names and prices and selling size and descriptions. Okay, the table looks good. You'll get marks for research there. Where will it go?
In the section on the marketing mix, under product.
Not in the appendix?
Not in the appendix. So, it would be best to put it in the appendix, she said, not in the appendix.
No.
No, it's not the answer. C is not the answer because they said no. Now, they move on to option B.
But it's too factual on its own. You need to add some comment in.
It's too factual on its own. With factual, they did not say inaccurate. So that is why B is wrong option. Factual is mentioned, but inaccurate is not mentioned. And now they talk about A. Come on.
Marks for research there. Where will it go?
In the section on the marketing mix, under product.
Not in the appendix?
No.
Okay, but it's too factual on its own. You need to add some comment in that section about the implications of the figures.
Right.
Right. Right means they agree. Okay, so it's option A. It needs more explanation. Add some comments. Question number 24. Just imagine in your real exam if you get the same test. I mean, for example, like this. So there'll be some trouble. So be ready. Okay, every test that you take, you find it difficult. Imagine in your actual exam, if you get it, what will you do over there? Okay, so always fight. Some of you have flight response. Yeah, बैठे हैं, ठीक है, चल रहा है. Okay, A, हाँ A. B, हाँ B सही है. सब B कह रहे मैं भी B कह देता हूँ, right? Some are actually involved, right? So you should be actually involved. Question number 24. What do they decide about the description of Schaeffer's coffee as a market follower? They decide, this time multiple choices about their decision about the description of Schaeffer coffee. So, A, Leo need to define this term. Define his term. Okay, underline that. Next, option B, Leo needs to provide more evidence. Underline provide more evidence. Option C, Leo needs to put it in a different section. Put it in a different section. Now read the question again, 24. What do they decide about the description of Schaeffer's coffee as a market follower? So what do they decide about it?
Now, I want to say that I think that Schaeffer's is more of a follower than a leader in the coffee industry. Now, I'm putting that in the section on market share. Does that seem okay?
Let's see. So, you've begun by explaining what market share is. That's important. But you've got to be careful how you give that opinion.
Do you think it should go in another section?
Well, it's fine where it is, but you've got to back it up with some data, or they'll say your report lacks weight.
Okay.
You've got to back it up with more data. Back it up with more data means provide more evidence. Exactly. About C, she said, no, it's fine where it is. It's fine where it is, right? And Leo needs to define his term. She said, you are already starting with that. So it's not something they discuss. The order in which they spoke, that is A, C, B. So B, provide more evidence, back it up with data. Question number 25. What does Anna say about originality in someone's first marketing report? Originality means it should be original work. So what does Anna say about originality in someone's first marketing report? Option A. Clear analysis of data can be considered original. Clear analysis of data. And consider original, we take it for granted. Option B. Graphs and diagrams should be original, not copied. Graphs and diagrams, original. What she says here. And option C. Reports should contain some original data collected by the student. Reports contain original data by students. Now, what does Anna say? This time you will listen to Anna carefully. Okay? Because answer is going to be in Anna's talk.
One thing I'm worried about is finding anything original to say.
Well, since this is your first marketing report, you're not expected to go out and do interviews and things to collect your own data. You're just using published data. So the analysis you do might not throw up anything that people didn't know before. But the focus is more on how you handle the data. I mean, you might take something like a graph of sales directly from a website, but what makes your work original is the perspective you provide by your interpretation of it.
Oh.
Perspective you provide with your interpretation. By interpreting, it is A, B. No. Come on, C. Huh? Someone say D. Exactly. That is option A is the correct answer. Now listen, the order in which they discussed all the options, that is C, B, A. C, B, A. Okay, listen. First, they talked about reports should contain some original data collected by students. She said you are not expected to go out in the field and collect the data. C is out. I'll play it again. Then they talked about B. Graphs and diagrams should be original, not copied. She said you can copy them. Okay, they should not be original. A is the option. Clear analysis of data. For that, she said how you handle the data. Clear analysis of data can be considered original. Please listen again.
One thing I'm worried about is finding anything original to say.
Well, since this is your first marketing report, you're not expected to go out and do interviews and
Okay, you're not expected to go out and interview, so C is out. Cross C from there. Now they come to B.
things to collect your own data. You're just using published data. So the analysis you do might not throw up anything that people didn't know before. But the focus is more on how you handle the data. I mean, you might take something like a graph of sales directly from a website.
Directly from a website. So be original, not copied. She said directly from a website, it means they can copy it. Right? Now we are left with A. I mean, if you prove that B and C are wrong, it's understood A is the right answer. Right? So instead of focusing the right answer, eliminate the wrong options. Automatically you will be left with the right one.
But what makes your work original is the perspective you provide by your interpretation of it.
Okay?
Oh.
Perspective you provide by your interpretation of it. All right, तो सही मौत पैरी सारियां नु. Question number 26. Smile. कुछ भी हो ना हंसते रहें, मुस्कुराते रहें. अगले को पता ही ना लगने देंगे बंदा टेंशन में है. ठीक है? Question number 26. What difference between his school assignment and this report surprised Leo? 3 options. One option will surprise him. Other 2 options will be normal. Only one option will surprise him. What difference between his school assignment? Now underline difference school assignment and this report. A. Not knowing the criteria for getting a good mark. If he says, I don't know what the tutor is expecting from us. I don't know what does the teacher want. Means he doesn't know the criteria. B. Being required to produce work without assistance. That we have to do it on our own. We have to do it without the help of anyone. And option C, having to do a great deal of research. He says, well, in the school assignments, I didn't have to do a lot of research, but this is quite surprising. For this assignment, I've got to do a lot of research. Then it can be C. Now, please listen.
You know, it's all so different from business studies assignments at school. It's really surprised me.
What? How much research you have to do?
I expected that. It's more, I knew exactly what I had to do to get a good grade at school. And I knew I'd be expected to go more deeply into things here. But I haven't got information on how the lecturer is going to grade my work. What he's looking for.
Yeah, what he's looking for. How he's going to grade my work. A. No. B. Excellent. किसने कहा है? Very good, very good. Anyone else? अच्छा कुछ लोग ना बोल नहीं रहे, वो अपनी इज्जत बचा रहे हैं. ओके दूसरी दफा में तो बोलते ही नहीं है ना कि इज्जत प्यारी है, मल्टीपल चॉइस आने जाने वाली चीज है, इज्जत बचनी चाहिए. ओके लिसन टू इट अगेन. Please listen to it again.
You know, it's all so different from business studies assignments at school. It's really surprised me.
What? How much research you have to do?
I expected that.
How much research you have to do? I'd expected that. When you expect something, that is not surprising. So option C should be crossed. Understand? Now you are left with A, B. So.
It's more, I knew exactly what I had to do to get a good grade at school. And I knew I'd be expected to go more deeply into things here. But I haven't got information on how the lecturer is going to grade my work.
I have no idea how the lecturer is going to grade my work.
What he's looking for.
What he's looking for means not knowing the criteria for getting a good mark. Okay? So option A is the right answer. खत्म हो गए. और भी होने चाहिए थे मल्टीपल चॉइस हाँ